Day 26 readers. Today we are reading Matthew chapter 18, verses 1 through 20. And it starts off with the disciples asking Jesus who is the greatest. And we think this has more to do with the fact that they're equating it to if Jesus is king, then he's going to appoint some people to office. Kind of like cabinet members that we would have, in the United States. Everybody's thinking they're going to get their place in line. And so Jesus uses this analogy to a young child. But essentially what he's saying is you need to humble yourself and take away that pride because children are very pure in heart and are not trying to gain anything when they're making decisions or not trying to make sure that they have the right place next to the right people. Unfortunately, that's something that's learned. And so Jesus is saying, you need to be more like these kids because they're more humble and they're not worried about that. They're looking more at just their faith. And then it takes us into this idea that there's going to be temptation in our life. There's no way around that. And that's basically what that says in that verse. It says, woe to the world for temptations to sin. So we know they're going to happen. And then it says, for it is necessary that temptations come, but woe to the one by whom the temptation comes. So we know in our life there's going to be temptation. So the best thing we can do is guard our hearts, be studied in Scripture so that we have it memorized and have it in our hearts so that we can use that in times of temptation. And the other side of that is we need to keep ourselves in check so that we're not leading others into and becoming a stumbling block of theirs, whether that's through starting a gossip conversation or maybe that's telling a joke that's not really appropriate and it's just not really glorifying God in that manner. So keep your hearts in check and make sure that you're leading people in the right direction. And then it talks about the parable of the lost sheep, which is mentioned in the Gospels a couple of times. But it says that Jesus would leave the 99 to find the one. If he had 100 sheep and one of them was lost, he would leave the 99 to find the one. And there's a great song, of course, a worship song about this that we sing sometimes in church about that's the way he loves us. The way he loves us is if we're going to go astray, he's going to pursue us and chase after us. And I think that's what everybody wants, is for somebody to pursue after them and love them so much that they would go and find them if they were lost. And then it goes, finishes up today's reading with, if your brother sins against you. So there is a biblical way to deal with sin, specifically when somebody has wronged you. And it takes you through step by step what that looks like. And this can be really difficult to do, obviously, with personal relationships, but also if this is a fairly egregious sin to where the church has to get involved. And when it says to take it to the church, I don't think it means, to put somebody on the stage and call out their sin over the microphone, but I do think there is a biblical way for the church to handle a person who's a member of the church who is sinning and has not listened to anybody up to that point. And sometimes they have to ask that person to maybe step down from a leadership role or to step away from the church until they can be counseled or mentored. And I think that's a big part of it too, is, if there comes a situation where somebody has to be asked to step down, just leaving them on their own is not the right answer either, but making sure that we're discipling them and helping them to pray about that sin that's in their life so that first they can admit that it's there and then they can find a way to take care of that sin. So I hope you enjoyed today's reading. There's some great wisdom in it. I pray that today you will guard your hearts and that you will keep your hearts in check, evaluate what you say throughout the day, and as you run into people, talk to people, lead people, whatever it is that you're doing today, make sure that you are doing it to glorify God. All right, y'all have a great day. Bye.